Hi, welcome to Ollie'sCorner. I'm Ollie, and here I like to talk about personal experience in hopes to connect with others on a similar journey so they may feel seen and I can offer anecdotal guidance. So if you feel aligned, please stay, but be prepared for any possible ADHD ramblings. And to start off, I am going to start off with a quick rant about nothing of substance. I mean, it's substance, but I'm just not in the best place right now. And it's because the Lakers are absolute trash. I know, this is so dumb. But, I don't know, man. Game 1 and 2... Oklahoma City was getting all of these unnecessary fouls called by the refs, and like the Lakers were just like anytime they'd catch any momentum, boom, foul on the other side of the court. And to be fair, Thunder is the better team, no doubt about it. But like the way that they were calling it, I was like, you're not even giving them a chance. And then today calls were definitely in the Lakers' favor, and they did not show up. It was sad and embarrassing, and I just want Braun to get one more ring, but that is not going to happen this year. So here's to 42-year-old Braun. Hopefully, or not, whatever is best for him. Anyways, now that is out of the way, I woke up this morning and, I just asked for a message. And the first thing that came to my head was the song Feel Again by One Republic. It's like, oh, I can feel again. And like, that is not a song that I be playing. Like, I've never willingly put that song on until today, and honestly, I'm really vibing with it. So it just feels very, very divinely guided for me to talk about feeling again. And I think I'll just go ahead and get started. I like to talk about my own personal stories, so we'll get started with that. And it'll just be pretty much a generalization of just kind of feeling again, I guess. And I'll spoil a little bit for you. The moral of the story is gonna be self-love, probably. Because it seems to be the moral of every story. But let's get into a little bit of it. So growing up, especially as a undiagnosed neurodivergent person, I was never very good at identifying and naming emotions. So there was already a little bit of disconnect there. And then on top of it, I didn't have the greatest relationship with my mother growing up, and part of that was whenever we'd fight or whatever, she'd have her side of the story, I'd have mine, but I was never allowed to share my side. I was never really allowed to express what I was feeling, and if I did, those feelings weren't validated. And then on top of that, she would kind of just tell me what it is I am feeling. I had no room to say, no, that's not what's happening. It was always kind of her way or the highway when it came to what I was personally experiencing on the inside. So that also brewed some disconnect from emotions and feelings. And then I'm assuming if you're listening to this, like many of us, I was pretty depressed for a big chunk of my life. I'm still young, so. But for most of my teenage years, I was pretty depressed, and depression is characterized by feelings of numbness, a general apathy towards everything and anything around you. And that was me for, pretty much all my teenage years. I will say, someone might relate to this, but something that helped me was BTS. I won't get too much into that, but I think they're the first people who ever helped me understand what love really was, and taught me to some extent that it was important to love yourself. So if you feel called to listen to any BTS, I'll give you some recommendations, honestly, for signs. I actually have written down butterflies and birds, hawks especially, crows, ravens, but BTS has a song called Butterfly. I don't remember what it's about, but if you want to listen to that, and then, I don't know, if you ever really get into them, Magic Shop and Microcosmos are just such meaningful songs, and I don't know, give them a listen if you feel called, and they're in Korean, so read the lyrics. But back to what I was saying. And so I just, for pretty much what feels like my entire life, I was just disconnected to my emotions, and I did not understand my inner world at all. By the time this whole healing journey started, I was a literal stranger to myself, which is like, it's weird to think about how this person that I am all the time, the only person I'm around 24/7, I didn't even know them. I didn't know the first thing about myself. Well, that's not true. I knew I liked BTS. But, deeper than that, I was just so disconnected from myself. And back in 2021, and I'm sure that year, or this 5-year timeline, I've spoke about it before, is pretty significant to a lot of people. Back, around COVID, when all that was going down, I'm sure a lot of us were kind of kicked into this self-healing, this self-realization type of journey that we weren't expecting to be on. And we just so happened to be on it. But so what was I saying? So back in 2021, when I made that decision to really choose myself, and I'll speak about this more one day, but when I made that decision, I remember one of the things that I wanted was to literally feel again. I would say that to myself. I just wanted to feel something other than the apathy, other than all of this negativity 24/7. I wanted to feel everything and anything: sadness, anger, joy, love, happiness, you name it. I was like, I just want to get to the place where I can feel and experience all of those things to their fullest extent. And honestly, it took a minute to get to the place where I am now, to feel in the way I do now. And I'm so genuinely grateful for it. There's so many ups and downs that I still have, and hard times that I still go through. But the beautiful thing about those now is I walk through life with the belief that, I've two sides of the same coin, right? I experience some of these lows to experience the highs, and it's a really cool thing when you can when you're in one of those lows and you're experiencing it and you're feeling it, but you take those moments where you take that step back and you kind of go bird's eye view, and you're like, but I can't wait to see what I learn from this and to see where I go next from this. And now that's not to say that what you're experiencing isn't real, because it is. And that it's easy to get out of, because it isn't. But I think it can just be a little helpful, a nice little reminder that things will get better. And that, it's just a season. It's just a season of your life, and it'll pass one day. And now, I feel things in ways that I haven't in so long. I'll tell one story. To be fair, I was high this night, but I just moved into the apartment with my sister, and she went out for the night to, go have a good time. And she had work the next day at 7 a.m. And so then it's 12 a.m. I'm checking her location. It's 12:30, 12:45. I was checking her location the entire time. 2 a.m. checking her location. And I say that to say, I am not worried about someone like that in ever, I think. And I know that might sound like a little, you don't care about people like that. I don't know, it just, honestly for me, my journey was I needed to love myself before I could properly love anybody else. That was truly my journey. And so up until that point, I had never really worried about someone like that in such a way. And I just remember thinking this is so weird, this is so different, it's kind of sick that I've grown to this point, but oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm enjoying this. She was fine. She was just staying at her friend's house that night, and so she didn't come back at all. But I didn't know that at the time. And then other ways in which I feel more, I'm able to see from other people's perspective much easier. I've always been kind of an intuitive person, but I'm able to pick up on those intuitive reads better and to really understand where people are coming from easier and just clearer than I did in the past. And it's not every day that I'm always experiencing immense joy, happiness, and gratitude, but when I do, it's just that much more beautiful. And I'm so grateful that I even get to feel those things. And I'm happy that I get to feel these things again, because I didn't for such a long time, even when I'm just scrolling on TikTok and I'm getting hit with all of those, what are they, what are those TikToks called? I don't know, but where it's people are helping other people, or they're saving a dog, or a random person goes up and taps one of those people out in the military, and I just feel all that love even through the screen. I'm just so happy to be able to experience these emotions. And even when I'm hitting those lows, again, it's harder in the moment to take that step back, but whether it's in the moment or when I've exited it, I'm still grateful to have felt the sadness or whatever it is I was feeling for that time being. I'm so proud of myself for coming far enough to be able to experience these emotions. And like I love my family in a way that I wasn't able to when I was younger. I appreciate them more, and I think a lot of this also can just deal with maturing and aging, but whatever the reason be, I'm just so grateful to be feeling again. And so if you're here with me feeling again, standing at the edge of something new, you know, it is scary, isn't it? Like, I know I talked about this, but feeling like it's my time to reintroduce self to other, because I've been so isolated for so long. It's scary. You know, part of the reason why some of us may have closed up in the past is because our heart was broken, our trust was broken. You know, someone we relied on failed us. Whatever the case may be, we put our walls up, and no one was able to get in for the longest time. And then you took that journey. You poured into yourself. And now your heart is open again. Your walls are down. And you're on the brink of something wonderful. You're standing at that cliff, but it doesn't make it any less scary to jump off and to see where the world wants to take us. Because all the examples I've given they're very much like stepping stones, right? It's not these huge dealings in emotion. You know, I was still very much isolated throughout all of this, and luckily for me, I have a family who genuinely loves me, and I love them, and so I was able to start mending those relationships and showing the love I have for them in more ways. But there's so many other ways to step out there, and I know a lot of us, I feel we're on the precipice of something new. The start of something new. Also, oh my gosh, Disney Channel has been on my mind so much lately. You know what? No one loves billion-dollar companies and corporations and capitalism or whatever, but Disney Channel and Disney, I feel like, at least for my generation, it really set us up well. It really taught us some good morals, taught us about like friendship and love in whatever ways. So I don't know, if anyone's feeling nostalgic as well, you might feel connected with whatever it is I'm saying right now. But, and then like, yeah, so having your walls up back then and protecting your heart in the way that you needed to, or like just really going inward, turning off your emotions to some extent, it protected you. It protected you when you needed it, when you didn't have the tools to deal with what was around you. It really saved you. But now you have the tools, and you know you have the tools. And it's time to let go. It's time to jump off the edge and do whatever it is you've been waiting to do, whatever it is you feel called to do. It is time to put yourself out there. Scary. It's still so scary. And you're probably, in ways, 10 times more confident than you used to be, but confident in yourself, not these new situations, right? But now you have built that foundation. You have yourself to fall back on. You became the parent when you needed to parent. You healed that inner child. And so now it's time to go play and to let yourself be seen. That is something I'm still working on. But I know it is time because I'm bored, right? And like I said before, I don't know how much more growing inwardly I can do without meeting with the other. Because, I think I learned this from Alan Watts, but there is no self without other. There is no other without self. I think there can kind of be exceptions, like if you're a monk and like you reach that self-actualization in like this really, I don't know, extreme is the right word, but extreme way, I guess you could say. But for me, I know to learn more about myself and to understand more about me, I have to meet the other. I have to do more outside of myself. There's only so much I can do one-on-one with myself, and I'm not called to a life of monkery at this point. I want to experience love and friendship and community, and I know y'all do too. And so it is time to put yourself out there. And now putting yourself out there, it doesn't have to be huge. You can start slow. Maybe your first stepping stone, if you have a family that you feel genuinely cares about you and loves you and isn't toxic and is not preying on your downfall, you can start there. You can start by just shooting your mom a text. I mean, tomorrow is Mother's Day. Saying what's on your chest. If it's gratitude, being like, I'm so grateful. Being vulnerable in those ways is bound to create space and bring more of that same energy you're putting out back to you. It could be reconnecting with a friend you haven't talked to in years. Going to that random bingo night that you've been wanting to go to. It doesn't have to be insane or big. It could even just be going to a concert by yourself and, no expectations, but if you happen to run into some people and you vibe and you choose to vibe with them for the rest of the night. So it's just starting small and taking and letting the wind take you. And then the day before today, I channeled a message. So this is about letting go. I don't remember if it quite makes sense for this reading, but we will find out, or I will cut it out. So let us see. It's time to let go of whatever's holding you back. You know what it is. And deep down, you know you won't move forward in the way you truly deserve until you do. Be it that person, friend, family, lover who hurts you and drags your energy down more than they support and lift you up. Be it that idea of the how you desperately wish your life to pan out, that old paradigm or belief system that once saved you or kept you going but now keeps you from flourishing. Letting go of what no longer serves you will create space to bring in what does. It'll clear up your intuition. Be open and ready for the guidance you long to hear. We know it's easier said than done, and Ollie will give you some examples and guidance as well. Listen to us. You are more than capable of letting go, and you already know that. The version of you aspire to be has already done it. You're ready. It is time. And even when you don't think you know how, your heart knows, your body knows. Listen to those parts of you. Quiet your mind and allow those feelings you've been pushing away to surface. It's time. And then I will also pulled cards from the Divine Nature Oracle deck as well, 2 today. And as I am at my grandparents' house, this is all I got, so we shall see. I haven't read what they mean yet, so let us find out. So card 1 is Kiss the Muse. And the picture is of a very porcelain lady upright and maybe a less porcelain man downright, upside down. Almost kissing, but not quite, eyes closed. Highlight on point number 39. Rumi said, "There is a kiss we ache for with our whole lives, the touch of spirit on the body. And now it is time to honor that sacred connection. Indulge your wonder, your awe, your passion. Let yourself be kissed by the muse, falling madly in love with what inspires you. Inspiration literally means to breathe in, and the hidden power of the muse's kiss is that as you follow your bliss, it passes on the breath of permission to others who observe your passion. In this way, the kiss of deep joy is contagious. It's time to start a movement of passion and freedom. Let it begin with you." Pretty sick. If I choose to connect it back to what I was saying, the end of it is let's begin. It's time to start that movement, time to fall off the edge of that cliff. We feel again. We know what our bliss is now. We know what our heart is telling us to do. Like I said, in the past, one of those big questions is, but I don't know what my heart is saying. I can't tell. I never, what's going on? You know now. I know now. I will still sit here and say, yeah, I don't really know what I want. But deep down somewhere, I also know that I do. So it is time to trust in yourself. Trust what you know. And I think one of the hard things kind of to come to terms with is knowing what you want isn't always this big realization. It's not always screaming your name. And that's, still a lot of the times what I'm expecting. It's oftentimes just quiet. And it's that little idea that maybe pops into your head when you're walking in clarity and experiencing your enjoyment. and you question yourself. You're like, this is it? What? Like, this is what I've been waiting for? And like, I get that. I totally relate to that. I am that. But you know when it feels right for you. And it's not always like, because even when you start doing it, you know, sometimes it takes time for your outer reality to match what's happening inside, or to reflect what's happening inside. And so it's just like, you're expecting more from it, right? Even just like the feeling of it in general, and sometimes it's expecting more. But you can follow those quiet nudges and the little muses, even if it's just painting your nails that day. Just the little things. Follow them all. And then the other card I pulled, call on your courage. Courage comes from the willingness to believe in ourselves and our source more than we believe in our fears. The word courage comes from the root word for heart in French, and you must use this energy center in order to find your way through the brambles and thorns of fear. Now is not the time to weigh your options or calculate your odds of success based on the 5 senses of reality. Instead, go within and listen to the voice telling you that fear is real, and that's okay. But courage is just as real and can be grown bigger and stronger than anything you face in your path. And I will say that one ties it all together perfectly, and it kind of parallels and mirrors a lot of what I already said. So I hope this message aligned, possibly inspired you, because girl, you can do it. Boy, you can do it. Just go do it. You don't need to expect anything from your action. Just do it for the enjoyment of it. I love you, love yourself, and good night.